Testing yellow. Testing yellow. Testing blue. Testing blue. Testing blue.
Welcome, everyone. Woohoo! So we're going to encourage you to rise in body and or spirit in singing our gathering hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. The words will be on the screen behind me.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Wonderful. I gotta have a mic. There we go. Welcome to all of you in here, out there, and viewing us online. We are so glad you are here and deeply appreciative of those of you who have braved the storm to be here. I'm Catherine Bonner. I'm the Director of Programs and Religious Education here at the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota. And I'm also excited to be your guest speaker for today's sermon. Our settled minister, Reverend Jay Wolin, will be back in the pulpit next Sunday. To our visitors, we are so happy that you are here, and we look forward to getting to know you a little bit better. We hope that you will join us for refreshments and conversation in the courtyard underneath the overhang today. After the service, you'll find that we're a very friendly bunch. We'd also like for you to fill out a visitor form at our welcome table, which is outside the sanctuary doors, or online at our virtual guest book at www.uusrq.org. That's located at the top of the right corner of our homepage. If you do so, we will send you our weekly newsletter, The Contact, which is full of information of things going on at our very vibrant congregation and in the community at large. Visitors are invited to all our events and our offerings. Our next event is our Welcome Back Luau directly after the service next week. Wear your favorite floral or Hawaiian print and bring a dish to share. For those of you who are new to Unitarian Universalism, we're a non-creedal faith where we connect in a loving community to nurture our spirit and help heal the world. We are justice-seeking, transformative, and recognize the interdependence of all of us together. We affirm the inherent dignity and worthiness of every person to be loved, given compassion, and treated with equity. You can learn more about who we are at our website or at our association at www.uua.org. On the first Sunday of each month, we invite those who would like to become a member of our vibrant congregation to join our minister and other congregational leaders in the minister's office located directly across the courtyard in the Lexau wing, about 15 minutes after the service ends. There we will have you sign our membership book in a small ceremony. Or if you're not quite ready to become a member but like to learn more about Unitarian Universalism and our congregation, then sign up for our next Learning About Unitarian Universalism class being held on Saturday, August the 24th in the morning. Details and sign up are also at the welcome table. Are you into justice work? Then we encourage you to join CSEE Alliance, members of this congregation and other public education advocates on Tuesday, August the 6th at 4:30 p.m. at the Sarasota County School Board building for the back to school kickoff. Organizers would love for you to also attend the 6 p.m. school board meeting that evening, which is the last before the school board elections in August. More details are at our social justice table next to the Lexile wing. Lastly, I want to give a big thank you to Paul Scholl, Chris Bonner, and Sawyer Porteous for putting up our Embracing Our Differences banner, Colorful Conversations, on the outside of the Lexile wing. It looks fabulous. And if you haven't been here yet, you can't miss it. And before we invite Synia to come up for our opening music, I just wanted to say that today's service is brought to you by Optimism, for when those days when it's just gonna rain. Thank you. Synia.
Woo! I see you guys. All right. I like it. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I dare you to sing along with me on the next time, okay? I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. And here is that rainbow I've been waiting for. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Right beyond those clouds, I'm telling you, I see it. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. Blue skies, blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Come on, you guys, we gotta wake up. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Come on, let's clap. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
that. Good morning. Our opening reading is on Happiness by Carl Jung. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meanings if it were not balanced by sadness. Of course, it is understandable that we seek happiness and avoid unlucky and disagreeable chances. The more you deliberately seek happiness, the more you are sure not to find it. It is therefore far better to take things as they come along with patience and equanimity. And as we light the chalice this morning, please join me in affirming our new value of pluralism, which is printed in your order of service and displayed on the screen behind me. As we light this chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect.
Okay. Today's story is Nerdy Birdie Tweets, written by Reynolds, pictures by Matt Davies, and adapted by myself. This is Nerdy Birdie. Nerdy Birdie loves to play video games. This is Vulture. Vulture thinks video games are boring, but Vulture loves snacking on dead things. Nerdy Birdie thinks dead things are gross. Nerdy Birdie and Vulture are very different, but they are also best friends. There are 3 things that they love to do: to make fun of each other's lunch, make silly faces, and take goofy pictures of each other. One day, Nerdy Birdie discovered an amazing new game. It's called Roblox, he told Vulture. What does it do? Asked Vulture. Oh, well, it does lots of things, like collect tons of friends online who may or may not text you back, to play games with them all, and tweet messages and pictures for them all to see. Sounds awesome, said Vulture, who really didn't think it sounded that awesome. An hour later, Nerdy Birdie had 50 new friends, and a day later, he had 100 friends. I'm friends with an ostrich. How cool is that? Cool. A week later, Nerdy Birdie had 500 friends. I'm friends with a puffin. She lives in Iceland. You're friends with a vulture, and she's dying of boredom. Let's do something different. In a minute. Vulture decided she had had enough of watching Nerdy Birdie play online, so she flew away. An hour later, Nerdy Birdie finally noticed. The next day, Vulture had a surprise for Nerdy Birdie. Vulture had joined Roblox, and they played together all morning. And at lunchtime, they put away their games, and it was just like old times, until when Vulture logged back in, she saw Nerdy Birdie had posted a picture with the caption, "At Vulture Girl is a messy eater. She eats dead things. Ew!" "What is this?" Vulture cried. "Oh, that? It's a picture from lunch." "Why would you tweet that?" "I thought it was funny." "Well, just because you thought it doesn't mean you should tweet it." "Why?" "Because it's embarrassing." "I just thought," "No, you didn't." And Vulture flew away. An hour later, Vulture hadn't come back, nor would answer any of Nerdy Birdie's calls. A week later, Nerdy Birdie found a dead squirrel on the road and waited for Vulture to come get her favorite snack, but she never showed up. Then it hit him. I have 500 online friends. He was going to ask them for their advice. So he tweeted, "My best friend is mad at me. What should I do?" An hour later, nobody had tweeted back. A day later, only 3 of his friends had tweeted back. Puffin said, "What do you want me to do about it? I live in Iceland." Unhelpful. Ostrich said, "LOL, stinks to be you." Super unhelpful. Pink Flamingo said, "Try not to be such a bird brain, LOL." Well, it wasn't meant to be helpful, but it was super duper helpful. Nerdy Birdie put down his phone, opened his wings, and flew. He flew high and he flew low until he spotted Vulture in the branches of a dead oak tree. "I was a bird brain," he said. Vulture said nothing. "I shouldn't have tweeted that photo of you," Vulture said nothing. "I'm sorry," said Nerdy Birdie. "You should be," said Vulture. "I really am." And he really was. "What about all your online friends?" Nerdy Birdie shrugged and said, "One real live you is worth more than 1,000 online friends." So this is Nerdy Birdie, and this is Vulture. They are very different, but they're also best friends. So there's so many lessons to be taken from this story about what children and adults face today, like what it means to be a friend and how you should treat others, and what is the difference between an online friend and a live one. We used to learn these things face to face, but more and more we turn to our screens. Can happiness be found there? And does being online add another layer of stress? Big things to think about as technology becomes more a part of our life every day. So now I invite any children or teens here who would like to join Mr. Chris in the West Wing to explore and create your own fire to light this world. Thank you.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. But here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Little darling, the smiles are returning to your faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Oh, here comes the sun. Oh, here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. What did you say? Sun, 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 here it comes. What was that? Sun, 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 here it comes. I don't believe I understand. What was that again? Sun, 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 here it comes. Hey, yeah. Little darling. darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Oh, little darling, it feels like years since it's been clear. Oh, here comes the sun. Come on, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Here comes the sun. Oh, oh, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Oh, we're getting into it now. Let's do that again. Here comes the sun. Come on, yes. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. It's alright. It's gonna be alright no matter what, right? Because we're making it so. Thank you.
And now, let us center in these words by Lao Tzu. If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice rather, in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the world belongs to you. We'll now have a minute of silence to reflect, followed by centering in the song Spirit of Life.
Last week, Janae Johnson gave a beautiful reflection on emotional intelligence, which of course includes happiness. But today, I want to dig a bit further into what is happiness. Has our definition of happiness changed, and how can we become happier? So, what is happy? Is it an emotion? Is it a feeling? Is it a perspective or an attitude? Well, if you Google what is happiness, The AI overview now will tell you that happiness is an emotional state that can be defined in many ways, but it's often described as a combination of positive emotions and life satisfaction. It can be experienced in the moment when good things happen, or more broadly, as an overall evaluation of one's life and accomplishments. Some say happiness is a feeling of contentment with your life and your place in it, while others say it's found only in fleeting moments. Wow. It looks like all the sources of our AI overview are all over the board with their understanding of what happiness is and whether it's an emotion, a feeling, a perspective, or attitude. So let's start and get a little clarity around what those terms mean. So emotions result from external stimuli and are caused by the release of chemicals in the brain. They are innate, they are distinctive, and cross over cultural norms. Paul Ekman in 1992 proposed 6 basic human emotions noted in the inner wheel above me. Others have added trust and anticipation to that list. Feelings are our thoughts about the emotions we experience and can sometimes be distorted or inaccurate by the stories we've unconsciously created on past events or experiences. Perspective is a particular attitude toward or a way of regarding something, a point of view. An attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something. So, what do our famous psychologists say about happiness? Well, Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, had this to say: "Our possibilities of happiness are already restricted by our constitution. Unhappiness is much less difficult to experience. We are threatened with suffering from 3 directions. From our body, which is doomed to decay and dissolution, and which cannot even do without pain and anxiety as warning signals. From the external world, which may rage against us with overwhelming and merciless forces of destruction. And finally, from our relations to other men. The suffering which comes from this last source is perhaps more painful to us than any other." Whew, I get the impression Freud was not happy, and he probably could use a good therapist. His colleague, Carl Jung, had a more measured view on happiness, with the recognition that there is no light, i.e. happiness, without darkness, the sad. Though post-World War II modern materialistic culture defined happiness as external things like doing well and getting stuff we want, Jung put more emphasis on internal, intangible considerations. In the 1950s, Maslow created his hierarchy of needs, a pyramid to happiness. The 4 lower levels influence our psychological health, and if not met, can obstruct our tendency to growth, autonomy, identity, and excellence. But if they are met, then we can start the process of self-actualization, which is the contemplation of deeper ideas about our existence, our purpose, and meaning in life, the very pinnacle of happiness. So Maslow is part of the humanist psychology movement, but he is also considered a founder of the positive psychology movement of today. So in 1992, Martin Seligman, with several colleagues, brought positive psychology to the main stage. This psychology is the study of human strengths, behaviors, and qualities that allow people to live meaningful and fulfilling lives. It focuses on well-being, happiness, and satisfaction, and how to thrive in everyday life, versus fixating on the causes and symptoms of mental illness, which has been a hallmark of traditional psychology. Mr. Seligman even developed a happiness equation. He said happiness equals the sum of a person's genetic capacity for happiness, their life circumstances, and the voluntary factors under their control. He emphasizes that individuals can take action to ensure their happiness and well-being, and that agency is equally as important as our life circumstances. I have to say I'm a bit skeptical about this equation. How are the three components weighed? Equally? What if you don't have the genes for experiencing happiness? Are you doomed to have a less fulfilling life? Life circumstances can be influenced by our actions, but often they are outside of our control. Think of people in horrific conditions that they cannot change or escape. Do all of those individuals never experience happiness or joy? Are you doomed to be a miserable being if you don't have the genes or the positive life circumstances? So psychology has been around for about 150 years. People have been studying and contemplating happiness for millennia. Take Lao Tzu's passage from the 6th century BC that we used as our centering earlier. His words seem just as pertinent today. Buddha said that the greatest source of true happiness is to cherish others. When we sincerely care for others' well-being and happiness, we ourselves feel a sense of genuine well-being. Seneca, a Roman philosopher, said true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Charlotte Bronte wrote, "There is no happiness like being loved by your fellow creatures and feeling that your presence is an addition to their comfort." Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Letting go of freedom. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free." And finally, from Bob Marley, he said, "Just because you're happy doesn't mean that the day is perfect, but that you have looked beyond its imperfections." So is any of this resonating? Well, how about we take a moment of silence together to contemplate our own definition of happiness? So get comfortable in your chair, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and let it out. And think, how would you define happiness? When did you feel happy? So now let us come back together. Keeping that feeling of happiness, let us open up our hearts and our wallets to help support the work of this congregation. Please be as generous as you can. You may use the QR code that is on the screen or in your order of service. And for those online, you can also use the link in the YouTube description or on our homepage. Now, let's get happy.
We're so glad you're back, Don. Thank you. Our next reading on happiness is by Jeanette Rollison. Happiness doesn't come from achievements or money or any sort of treasure. Happiness is a frame of mind, not a destination. It's appreciating what you've got and building relationships with those around you. And now let us sing hymn 311, Let It Be a Dance.
Let it be a dance with you. May I have this dance with you. Really look at it baptized with you. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance with you. May I have this dance with you. Really look at it baptized with you. Let it be a dance.
That did not work out very well. So let us go on. Thank you. You know, finding happiness can be I lost my voice. There we go. Happiness can be a dance to try to find, and I heard a lot of laughter, and that always makes me happy. So, if there is truth in all the various ways in which people have defined happiness, then what are the key elements for being happier? So Carl Jung offered these 5 factors for a happy life. He said, number 1, good physical and mental health. Without vitality of mind and body, Jung believed that the quality of life would always be diminished. Good personal and intimate relationships. According to Jung, humans are social creatures with innate need for connection. People tap into crucial external reflections of themselves by cultivating understanding and empathy for others. The faculty for perceiving beauty and art and nature. Intensely appreciating aesthetics fills the inner wells of meaning, fuels vitality, and anchors people to sources of creativity beyond their ego. Reasonable standards of living and satisfactory work. While warning about the perils of materialism, Jung recognized the basic need for reasonable stability and security. Without adequate resources for living, the risk of stress is heightened. He also called work one of life's essential joys for structuring time and offering a sense of purpose. And number 5, philosophical or religious outlook. Jung valued developing a set of personal beliefs that provide perspective on existence and imbues life with meaning. Whether religious or philosophical conviction, he felt that a reflective worldview allows transcendence of daily troubles and connection to something more significant than yourself. Well, I agree with these factors, but Carl Jung could not have contemplated the impact technology, specifically screens, would have on our happiness and well-being. So psychologist Adam Alter did a TED Talk in 2017, and that TED Talk helped to summarize this topic. Technology advances bring positives and negatives to our lives. This chart shows that from 2007 to 2017, people still roughly spent the same amount of time in their day sleeping, working, taking care of basic needs, and personal time. But what has changed was how we spent our personal time, i.e. the time that we take to care for our physical and mental health, the time for creating healthy relationships and appreciating art and nature, and developing a set of personal beliefs. The red represents the amount of time we spent in front of a screen. So look at that. I suspect that the amount of time in 2024 that we spend is even higher than 7 years ago. So when we are in front of our screens, how are we using them? The apps relating to the topics on the left, which would be over here, make us feel better or happier versus the ones on the right that don't. Yet, as Mr. Alter pointed out, we spend 9 minutes a day on each of those on the left. We spend 27 minutes a day on each of those on the right. 3 times more of those that make us unhappy. Why? Well, his assertion is that where before there were stopping cues, things like when you got to the end of a book chapter, you would stop, you would have a pause and say, is it time to move on? Or if you were watching a TV show, it would come to an end and you would move on. Or if you read the newspaper, that came to an end and you would move on. He said those are gone now in this age of constant scrolling and constant binge watching. He said we are addicted. And these stopping cues are also from our employers. Our employers and the people that we live and love expect us to be available 24 hours a day. So he had an innovative company, or talked about an innovative company in Germany who said that the outgoing message on somebody who was on vacation said, hey, Joe is on vacation. He will be back at a certain day, and your email is being deleted. Joe will not get back with you unless you email him again when he's back. Or you can email somebody else. Here's your options. So Joe gets to go on vacation and doesn't have to worry about checking his emails or looking for voicemails or all of those things that we have made common in today's environment. So how can we be happier? Well, the first thing is limit your screen time. Studies show that people feel more stress, depression, and general malaise if they are in front of a screen for more than an hour a day during their own personal time. Put your phone on airplane mode during the evenings and on the weekends. Or even better, put down your phone or tablet. Get out of your chair, stop watching a screen, and go for a walk outside. Breathe fresh air. Listen to the sounds of nature around you. Talk to people. Look them in the eye, smile, open a conversation, and listen to understand. Play. Be reflective. Do something for yourself and do something for others. Listen to music. Be in the moment. Let go of things outside of your control. Let go of past wrongs. Be open to the challenges in life because you have what it takes. Give compassion, empathy, and care. Love. Do not judge. Be authentic. Be you. Remember that this, will never give you a hug or be there to support you when you fall down. So for myself, in conclusion, I believe that happiness resides in our innermost core, that part of us that is connected to the divine. The happiness starts with loving yourself and who you are. For those that claim that they're happiest when causing harm and hate in this world, I don't believe that they truly love themselves at their core. Happiness is a spiritual experience of living every minute with love and grace and gratitude. Happiness is a frame of mind and not a destination. It bubbles up from the inside out. It's not something we can grasp and hold on to. It's a product of our attitudes and our actions in life. So join me in feeling happy as Synia leads us in our closing music. And if you're inclined, clap, sing, move along with the music. It's okay. You'll feel better too. Thank you.
This is such a great day. I mean, I love, you gotta love the rain, right? It's kind of comforting, cocooning kind of a thing. And we're all here together. What a cool thing. It just feels really warm in here. Anyway, I just want to say real quick, I had a gig on Thursday, and it's a gig I have every month on a Thursday. And it takes me like 6 songs to get into it. It's like, oh gosh, what am I gonna sing? Da, 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 da. But last Thursday, something weird happened which connects into what we're talking about today. I started, when the guys were playing the music, I told you this already, I was sitting there in the back and I was listening. I was going, thank you, 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 thank you. I was remembering to be grateful that I actually had the opportunity to sing somewhere, anywhere. And I had music around me. I said, wow, what a lucky duck I am. So that made me happy, and it was a great night. I didn't even have to get used to anything. I walked out there and I was happy, and I ended, and I was still happy. And I'm still happy now. I don't understand it, but it's happening. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Do that again. It might sound crazy, but I'm about to say, sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Cause I'm happy, clap along if you feel that happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness means to you. Cause I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happy's what you're gonna do. Ooh, here comes bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold back. Ooh, I should probably warn you that I'll be just fine. No offense to you, I don't wanna waste your time. Cause I'm happy, clapping along if you feel like a room without a roof. Cause I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Cause I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness means to you. Cause I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Can't bring me down cause I'm happy, yeah. Can't bring me down cause I feel too high. Ain't no way to bring me down. Ain't no way I feel so high. Happy happy. Bring me down because I feel too. Bring me down, I've got some. Bring me down, I ain't gonna know. Hey, 'cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you feel like room without a roof. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you feel like happiness is for you. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you know that happiness is the truth. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you feel that that's what you wanna do. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you feel like a room without a roof. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you know that happiness is the truth. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you know that that's what you wanna do. 'Cause I'm happy, clapping along. If you know that happiness is for you. Woo! Take it with you.
So our closing words are by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The happiness of life is made up of minute fractions, like the little soon forgotten charities of a kiss or a smile, a kind look, a heartfelt compliment, and the countless infinitesimals of pleasure and genial feeling. Let us not forget. We will extinguish our flame this morning. If you read the words, they are in your order of service. Thank you. Say together, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. May it always be so. Thank you.